Okay, so right here we have a little Bengals mini scheme out of Split Y Off. Um, this is in a couple of playbooks, but the Bengals one is the one I played this out of last year. I found it pretty consistent, off meta. I mean, you can do a lot of interesting things with it. The big thing I love about it is that you are getting wide receiver one here out of the backfield. That can be huge for you because a lot of times if you're in man coverage, that means a linebacker or a safety oftentimes is on them, unless they got a nickel. Obviously, you get a nickel corner on them, but a lot of times if you got a guy like Jamar Chase, really any traded receiver out there, that's really going to be nice for you. On top of that, it's actually a decent run formation. Your running back here can be switched over to a fullback or a tight end as a lead blocker, and you can hand the ball to this wide receiver rather. So it does a lot of cool stuff. You can motion either of these guys over here and make a bunch. So then you can run a lot of the meta route combinations. Like the streak, post, corner. You can do that out of this. Pretty versatile, pretty cool. People don't see it coming. And not a lot of people are used to playing against it. This offense specifically is really good for just kind of churning the sticks. It's not a ton of big play stuff here. There's some different things we can do that I'm not going to go over in this scheme, but for the most part, it's just a great way to churn the sticks. If you need to get your offense settled, this is a great way to do it. So I'm going to show you a couple things right here. This is just right off the bat where we're going to quickly hit that wide receiver outside zone. And here it goes. So, I mean, speaks for itself. Very easy yards. You can cut it back up the middle sometimes, but, just quick play to throw in there. You definitely want to run the ball sometimes. And you could put a running back there, so you don't have to run your wide receiver. But the big advantage of the formation is having that receiver in the backfield. Next thing I'm going to go over here is wheel trail. This is like a staple of my passing offense. Love this play. So you can go wheel trail. Big things, you get square on a curl, X on a corner, you get circle on a streak. R1 you can leave on that Texas. You can also put it in the flat, so you've got a flood concept over here on the right. And so you take your easy yards with R1. One way you can do it there, so that's, pretty easy yardage. If you got a hard flat, you can get that tight end over the top. But a lot of times, you're going to get this wide receiver one out of the backfield, easy yards on the wheel route. So take that whenever you can get it. That's really my first read on this play before I shift back to the other side. Is I'll read the wide receiver, then I'll read the right side. So there he is, wide receiver out of the backfield, free 10 yards. I mean, this is cheap, easy, especially if you got a guy like Chase or a fast receiver back there, you can do a ton of damage with them. So here, I think we're showing it again. Yep, so we'll do it again. You can also get in any kind of cover 3 alignment. We'll get one of them eventually here. But you get a cover 3 or something where that corner comes down to take away the receiver. You can get the curl route right there, and that is another free first down. So when you need to get your offense churning, you just can't quite figure out what to do. This isn't particularly good against match. You still get the underneath stuff against match, but the stuff downfield, not as good against match. But yeah, that's my favorite play. Really versatile, and there's actually a really good red zone setup for it too. The next play we're going to go into here is H choice. This is like a great play stock, actually, if you want to run it. But the way I set this up here this year with the way you can change hot routes is I'll throw square on the zig. I'll throw Chase on the fly here out of the backfield. And I'll block that running back so I have more time just in case if I need to get that return route time to develop. But a lot of times, like you can see here, you get Chase right up the seam. He gets out fast and gets up the seam, and it's just 3 yards there. Here we'll run it again. Same setup. And we can get the zig. Easy. the zig return combo in this game, just this year, zig and return, great to put them on the field together. So here we go. Set it up once again. And there it is again. We'll take the return route, but really, I mean, there was so much open there, you could see. So awesome, awesome setup, easy setup. And like I said, we're here to just turn these sticks. We're trying to make them come up and try and stop us. We want to make them commit to the stuff underneath, and then we can open up the downfield passing game. Another easy one, not as complex of a read, it's more of a half-field read play. But we can run the PA halfback sneak. We take that halfback sneak, get it out of the backfield there, and put it in the slot there on the left side. And then we can get Chase on the Texas route. So then your read is the quick running back R1, then to the triangle to the back right receiver out of the backfield. And then if they're playing up on that, you can absolutely hit square on the deep out. That's a nice chunk gain. You don't get that as much, but it's, quick 1, 2, 3 read. Really you're not going to get too much out of that square. Occasionally you can hit him when he clears over the, I don't know if you saw that when he kind of here. Actually, we'll back this up just a touch. So you'll see here, I'm going to let this play. And right here, he's about to clear this right here. Sometimes you can fit that in. Like you see, we were at there for a second. He does kind of clear it for a second. Usually there's not that gap there, but if you see that gap and you quickly get through the reads, it's there. Sometimes you can hit it. But you can normally take this R1 quick out all day or the Texas route all day. And this isn't crazy complex to stop. This is something you more pepper in there. Because it's not like it's super hard to stop, but it's super powerful if you don't know it's coming. Short yardage, that sort of thing. Nice to have. That one you saw Chase was actually going to come wide open on the Texas. So then next we have corner strike. Now this, you can do so much with this. Obviously these C routes are nice against man. They pull deep zones. Awesome. And so this is another thing where you can, what I mentioned before, you can get that bunch out there on the right. So you can run your streak, corner, post combo. I mean, it's meta combo. Been meta for years. People use this, and it's just easy, man. It's easy yards, easy gains, and that's just a bad throw, but you get touchdowns out of these. You absolutely get touchdowns out of these. You can leave that C route on the field. It kind of gets a little funky how it messes with the defender sometimes when everyone gets kind of jumbled up there. That time, not as good. We'll get the catch, but you can kind of get the defenders to run into each other, and that C route can come wide open. So that's a nice way to run this corner strike play as well. So we're going to run a couple more times here. So this time we get the tight end on the streak, the running back on the post, and you see how the DB kind of got caught there on the C route. And so that could be a big play if you have time to throw it. Of course, don't always have time to throw it. You really got to stay on top of your blocking this year. If you're getting blitzed and you're not picking it up, it can be pretty tough on you. You can get pressure really fast. So, and the throwaway animations aren't as powerful this year. So, like where you're getting sacked and you throw away out of the sack, it's just not as good this year. You're going to take more sacks. So, definitely get on your protections. Here it is. You got the drag. And he's going to break a tackle and get open. So you've got options here. But it's nice to be able to turn this into a bunch with your receiver in the backfield. Another setup I like right here, though, as well, is just streak those backs out of the backfield there. The wide receiver in the backfield and the running back. Streak them. You can block X if you want more time. You can drag X. They work great. Any one of those are good. You just look at this. RB all day. You just miss the throw. But again, like the way those C routes work is they'll pull those zones back, and you can get those receivers out of the backfield or the running back out of the backfield for nice gains there as well. Next, we have backs cross. This is great stock, but the real powerful part of this play is triangle out of the backfield. The receiver out of the backfield, you can Texas route him, or you can leave him on the out or the in route rather. Another good way to do it is you can throw the flood and then the square on the zig out of the backfield here. And that 1-2, of course, if we make that throw, that's a touchdown. If we hit that throw, that's a touchdown. I mean, you can do that a lot out of here. It becomes a big play, even though we're just trying to churn, get 10 yards of play. We block our back here if we need a little extra time. But, boom, there's that. Free 10 yards. So we can also run it, keep that on the field there. We can try to stretch these zones here. Against cover 2, this is really nice. Or against cover 3, getting X up the seam is huge. This combo last year with the streak and the slot fade were really, really powerful. You could bust a lot of coverages. This year, the defenses are a little better at stopping it, but you can still do some interesting things. So this is where we got a deep crosser or a streak on square. There, we're going to go for the up the seam throw. Nice, easy yards. In a cover 2, a lot of times that tight end can get kind of just way upfield and not get touched for a touchdown. But here, we'll throw the R1 on a corner route. We'll get that streak with the slot fade out there to block downfield and clear out. And then when you hit Chase out of the backfield here, I mean, this is rack. Lots of rack. And you got a blocker out in front of you with that corner route. And there he is. There's Chase again. Blocker in front. We run out of bounds. But, I mean, there you can see, like, just the way Chase out of the backfield, getting him on slot corners, getting him on linebackers, huge mismatches. You can do so much with that. So you can run this a couple more times, but you can even hit that running back if you really want to. But I mean, Chase is like easy yards. This is obviously like not high end, not high read. This is, I need to move quick. Next thing we got here is we got goal line work. So this is the motion H angle play. And last year this was even better, but Chase here can, if there's not a zone right there, Chase there's usually wide open, man. Like in man coverage especially, he just kills man. Anything where they're not getting zones right there, those yellow zones right down there in the end zone. I mean, you usually get that free. Users a lot of times will run across to try and get the running back on the pre-snap motion. So that usually leaves Chase pretty wide open. And then next play here, we have back to H choice again. So we can motion our tight end over, put him on a zig, and then we're kind of flooding that side of the field with a return on the opposite side. So then that one got deflected, but we had a Chase touchdown there pretty easily. And what we're doing here is we really make the user choose. Does he want to come down and try and stop Chase, or does he want to stay on that zig route? You usually can 1-2 pick one of those, but then if not, you do have that out route, which scores plenty. Of course, they got to hang on to it, but that scores plenty. And then you also have that return route, and that return route obviously also very good. The zigs and returns are really powerful routes this year. Here it is again. You could have hit X earlier. I was late on the throw, but if I hit him on the break, that's a touchdown. Another thing you do is you can put him over here. Yeah, we can block for a little extra time, get that running back block, so we have more time for this to develop. And there is our return route. I mean, this is just a money play here in the red zone for sure. Of course, obviously, you can't run this every time. You're going to see that motion, and they're going to adjust to it. But it's a good play. Hit them once in the red zone with it, and get your touchdown and move on. The next one, this is we get to it much harder to stop. Let's see if we can get to it here. We probably got 1 or 2 more reps of this. This one you can actually put Chase on a wheel out of the backfield as well, and this spaces a little differently, but he carries his momentum better into the end zone. So you can also do that as an alternative to the flat route. The wheel is good. So here we'll run it like that with the wheel. I mean, check that out. Of course, it's Jamar Chase, so you're just going to do great things with Jamar Chase or any X factor superstar receiver back there, especially big body guys. Seems like big body guys are also nice this year. So here is the wheel trail again. This is my favorite play in the red zone by far. If you see that set up, we'll freeze it when we pull the play art up. So here we've got our return on square. Chase is on the wheel by default. We got a Texas route for R1, and we've got Higgins on a drag. Another setup for this is to throw Gesicki on a corner and stem it all the way down. And that's actually, that tight end corner route is actually super powerful here. But here you got, again, the easy Jamar Chase wheel route. The momentum carries him right in the end zone. And then here you can see how good this is when we get, here we go. Another thing is if you get that running back moving in motion, it's hard to get him back in position. Oh, there you go. We got him there. So a lot of times you have to reset the play to make it happen. So here you get that corner route back on the field. The return route, it's all set up. Watch this corner route. I mean, it's Minkah Fitzpatrick. And he just destroys him. And that's like so consistently open from this condensed formation on the left side, on the left hash. Obviously, you want to flip it if you're on the other hash or run it from the other hash. But, I mean, this is just money right here in the red zone. So when you get these guys moving, they don't want to go back to their original spot. So you got to reset the play and then adjust your hot routes all over again. But here it is again. I mean, look at it. I mean, does it get more open than that? I mean, these are free touchdowns. The user has to take that. If the user's taking that, good luck guarding the rest of the field. You got to have some killer switch stick skills to do that. Here it is again. He's open again, but you're going to take the return route. The drag's open. The quick throw to the running back or the wide receiver out of the backfield. It's all open. Everything's open. Another one we got Y curl. This is a little less consistent. I don't like this one nearly as much, but it's cool. You can get your bunch back out there, throw him on a zig, and there he is, wide open. So that zig, I mean, these zigs and return routes in this game, I mean, I've said it a couple times now. They're so big. I mean, just throw one out there like on almost every play at this point until people respect them. Texas routes too, super powerful, especially when you got a guy like Jamar Chase out there. Obviously, it doesn't have to be Jamar Chase. No reason it has to be him, but I mean, this is just easy. There's Jamar Chase, or you can take the out route. I mean, there's just so much out of this formation is good. The other thing is, running out of this formation is good, especially when you get the tight end and you motion him, like you say that second running back is a tight end or a fullback, especially if it's a tight end. But you can run better with a fullback out there. This is just the running back. We're just running a stock. And this outside zone with the wide receiver is great. And if you want to run your running back, you don't want to run your receiver, just switch it, especially if you have a good receiving back or a guy that can do it all, Saquon Barkley, Christian McCaffrey. Like, this is a great offense if you've got a guy like him out of the backfield. And you're not going to get this every time. You're not going to do, obviously you're limited a little bit because it's goal line. People are going to get you sometimes, but I mean, the blocking is just really good on this outside zone play. And if you get them stretched out from all the passing you're doing, especially on the goal line, if you're just not even really running the ball, you can really do a lot. Other thing here is you saw we flipped it there. So you can flip the handoff animations a little bit longer. So not really a big fan of that. But in closing, I mean, just the split Y off, just as a basic, simple scheme, really easy reads. If you're new to the game or if you're struggling this year to find your footing, it's just a really easy offense to kind of put out there. You can do a lot with it. You can make it your own. But these setups are easy. And good luck, guys.